Today on the Fermenstation, let's talk about backsweetening. Is it art, science, or just guesswork? I'm Brian.
I'm Derica.
And this is the Fermenstation, the podcast for the City Steading Brews YouTube channel. And today we're talking about backsweetening. Everybody does it. You know you do it. I just did it and I want to do it again. One of our pasteurizations is done.
We're multitasking.
Yeah.
That's how we roll.
It's a film day.
All right. So we've talked about backsweetening multiple times on
Every video, pretty much.
different channels and our recipes and our talks and all sorts of things. But we always get questions about it. And I think it's because people want a definitive answer.
And you can do it that way. There is something to doing it that way. I don't agree with it, but let's talk about it for just a minute.
So we're going to talk about different practices, different ingredients, different usages, all the things.
Well, the first thing we're going to talk about is the sith version of backsweetening, which means using an absolute. And what I mean by that is you have, say, a gallon of something and you say, I am going to add a half pound of honey or a half pound of sugar or whatever sweetener of choice is. That is a way of doing things. Now,
absolutely.
It is repeatable. As long as you have the same volume every time, you'll get a semi-repeatable result. The trick is, are you making something to your taste, or are you making something that is just, I know I add a half pound of this, so it comes out this way every time? Is it exactly the way you want it? Don't know. That's the downside to the sith method.
So we are not sith.
So we don't deal with absolutes.
We're rebels, and because we're rebels, we like to do it our way and whatever suits us. And we also know that what suits us today might not suit us tomorrow.
That is very true.
Might not suit us next week.
Your tastes can change over time, and that's an advantage and disadvantage, and you will grow over time. It's just always going to happen.
Yeah.
So what you make today may be too sweet or too dry for you 2 years from now.
So if you notice in our recipe videos, when we backsweeten one of our brews, we do it to taste. We're in that moment. We're tasting and adding and adjusting. We might be adding more acid to it as well. We might be adding more tannins to it as well. We might be adding more other additional flavors to it as well. Spices, who knows? We go crazy.
We're getting ahead of ourselves already.
Right.
Because we need to talk about why do you backsweeten at all?
Okay. So why do you backsweeten? Do you know? Do you know why you backsweeten?
Because it's too dry. Something's too dry. Now, some people have made the statement that, oh, this came out dry, but it tastes good. Okay, let me explain something. Coming out dry is not a downside to brewing. It's just basically it's just a feature. When you have things set up properly or in a certain way, coming out dry is what's expected. Now, if it comes out sweet, it's either a stall or you pass the tolerance of the yeast or you pasteurize before it finished. So
we're going to use this particular beverage as an example.
Okay.
All right. So we just did a 1-year tasting of our Mesquite Mead, and it came out as
right. The bottle's empty.
A gravity reading of 1.004.
But this is a podcast, so if you can't see, there's an empty bottle in front of you.
And that's why I read it for you.
Yeah.
Anywho, so that in most circles would be considered dry or just dry or whatever.
Off dry.
Off dry, thank you. But because we are still getting the honey notes that we want from a mead, we were perfectly fine with not adding more.
Well, plus this one was, see, every brew is different. This has a more savory note to it, so sweetening it too much would be weird. Whereas something that's fruity, if it's too dry, doesn't taste like the fruit anymore to some people. Some people really love dry fruit. To me, fruit needs sweeter, just like something spicy, like hot spicy with capsaicin.
Because then you're working with a balance.
Right.
If you have an aggressive spice note, then you might want to ump the sweetness so that you have a better balance.
I have had people ask me, what is your preferred final gravity after backsweetening?
It depends.
It depends on the brew.
And
there is no one right answer.
We understand that you, as a home brewer, particularly if you're new,
you want to put numbers on it.
You want numbers, and we appreciate that.
I'm a numbers guy. Trust me, I totally get it. But I've learned over decades of doing this that no one number suits all. It's just a fact of life you have to accept.
So now we've talked about why you're going to backsweeten, because you want more sweetness, right?
Yeah.
But then what are you going to use to backsweeten? So if you're creating a mead, typically you're going to want to use honey. And typically is in air quotes.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Backsweetening is an alteration and an adjustment tool, okay? So you're adjusting the sweetness level, but in doing that, you can also adjust the flavors.
Right.
Let's say you made something that is super honey forward already, and you don't want to have to pasteurize or you don't want to have to use chemical stabilizers. You can use something like allulose or erythritol, and you can sweeten it without adding a fermentable sugar. Now you can just go straight to bottling without having to do anything extra to it.
You can also use those non-fermentable sugars if you want something sweeter tasting, but you also want to naturally carbonate it.
Right.
So that way you have a stable brew at the sweetness that you want, and then you add the carbonation fermentable sugars to naturally carbonate
We just did a sweet bubbly cider where we showed that technique. It was just a very simple cider. We sweetened it with allulose, then we added priming sugar and naturally carbonated it. Came out wonderful, very, very simple, very, very safe method of doing things.
So a question that comes up is, if I've made a mead and I want to back sweeten it, do I have to use honey?
No.
No, you do not.
No.
You can use basically whatever you want to keep it in the parameters of this is a mead. You want to have at least 50% of fermentable sugars.
And even that's debatable. If it tastes like a mead, it's a mead, as long as it's got honey in it.
Now,
honey is the requirement to be mead. Without honey, it is not mead. It's that simple. That's not an opinion.
It's not a
That's
debate.
A fact.
It's the definition.
But things that you can use to backsweeten. Let's just go. There's a long list.
Sure, but I'm sticking with the mead analogy.
Okay.
So you have a mead and you want to sweeten it, you can use honey. Now, if the mead happens to be a melomel, that means that you've already used honey and a fruit to create this flavor profile, and you want more fruitiness, you could add fruit juice as a back sweetening agent. You can add full fruit as a back sweetening agent.
You can use concentrated fruit juices as well. Like even wine bases and things like that are nice for that.
Because they're going to have more of the water removed, so they're going to add more fruitiness and more
without
sweetness.
Diluting as much.
Without diluting as much, right.
That's the problem. When you start adding juices, now you're diluting. So you're going to want to have to stabilize that in some way, because let's say it finished dry, but now you're adding more sugars and you're diluting it. So you're taking your ABV down as well as adding more fermentable sugars. That yeast is likely to be active again.
You can also, at this stage, fortify it with something that is naturally sweet. So that way you're bumping up the ABV, but you're also bumping up the sweetness level.
You mean like Cointreau?
Like Cointreau.
Cointreau happens to be, 40% alcohol? Like, it's crazy.
It's
40% alcohol, and it's
there's a reason why it's my favorite.
And it's gone. I went
No, there's a big bottle. I hide it. It's hidden.
You hid it from me.
I hid it from all of us. So our cheaper triple sec is easy access.
Thanks. I went looking for it last night.
Cointreau is back. I can pull it forward if you. Okay. All right. See.
You and I are pretty much the only ones to come out here, except your brother and his wife.
All right. So also with mead, if you have enough honey note in there, but you just need sweetness, not honey sweetness, you can add just plain old sugar. It's okay. It's still mead.
Some people use corn sugar, and there's dextrose, and there's all different kinds of sugar. Even brown sugar can be used for sweetening. All of those things are totally fine, and it comes down to personal taste or intent. If you want like kind of a little bit of a smoky or a richness flavor and you don't want to use honey, you can use brown sugar. You can also use molasses for sweetening. It's less sweet, but it does add flavors. Now, we made a molasses wine that I don't know that I'd recommend, but molasses as a sweetener in something that's already finished is actually totally fine. A lot of people say that like in apple ciders, they will use the frozen apple concentrate to sweeten that cider. And I thought that's actually a pretty great idea.
Right. So I was just using mead as a platform, but this is applicable whether it is a cider, a wine, a mead.
Technically, you could sweeten beer, but nobody does because beer has non-fermentable sugars already at the end. So it's already kind of sweet. That's why they put hops in now.
It's a bittering agent.
Yeah, it's a preservative too, but really it's a bittering agent to take that sweetness down. If you've ever had non-hopped beer, it's very sweet. I made a couple of them, and I tend to like it kind of. It's a little strange, but they're almost too sweet.
There are also other herbs as far as beer goes that you can use as a bittering agent that goes into the Groot category.
I am Groot.
I am Groot. We have done some Groots. I will make sure.
We did 2 on the channel. We need to do another Groot.
We do.
We can do a Groot.
I'm going to do a hibiscus Groot.
Let's do a Braggot Groot.
We can do so many Groots. Anyway.
All the Groots.
If you have,
I am Groot.
If you have a Groot that you would like to see, let us know in the comments below.
I am Groot.
Back to the talk
I am Groot.
of Backsweetening.
All right, so the art of backsweetening is when you can perfect it to your tastes. And this can be difficult if you have various people in the house that like different sweetness levels.
But it is something that we stress in every single video we backsweeten.
Yeah, our method of backsweetening is we add sweetening until we like it. It's that simple. Now, it's still somewhat of, see, we call it an art, but it's still somewhat of an experience thing.
Sure.
It's an experience.
You're in the moment.
Because as it ages, that's going to change too.
Right. And so there is a little bit of experience that comes into play as you continue in the home brewing genre, hobby, whatever you want to call it, where you will realize that what you're experiencing now is now. But what is it going to be like then? And
you'll wish now you did something different so that then it'll taste different than it does now.
But this is now.
But you're in now, right now, and you don't know what it's going to be then, so you have to do what it is.
Unless you have a TARDIS, and if you do have a TARDIS, please
Can we borrow
contact me.
it?
We would like to be your friends.
Because I'd love to do I want to do 1 year tastings and brand new tastings of the same brew on the same day.
How awesome would that be, right? But we don't have a TARDIS, so we can't do that. So back to backsweetening. We've talked about fermentable and non-fermentable sugars. We've talked about that you can mix your sweetener based on what your flavor profile you want to bring.
Oh, you can even use different sweeteners. Like you can use a little bit of honey, a little bit of brown sugar, a little bit of sugar,
right,
apple juice.
Right. I think we've actually done that in a few where we're like, oh, this just needs sweetness, so we're going to use just sugar.
And then
And then at some point we're like, you know what, we need a little bump, and so we're going to add some brown sugar to it.
That seems familiar.
It does.
Not in a while, but it does seem familiar.
We have done so many videos that it's hard for us to mentally
Over
keep
800.
But
we're coming up on 8 years on this channel.
Craziness.
Well, not this channel. This channel is like a year, but the CSB universe.
CSB universe. Bling.
Can't believe we say that.
Anyway. So, but all of these different parts of the backsweetening experience and reasons behind them all come back to that basis of taste testing.
Right.
And that's why in every single recipe video, we suggest that you taste your brew as you're doing additions.
And we do it in a rushed fashion, just so you're aware.
Right.
You should probably do it where you add some sweetening and then taste it, give it a couple sips, several sips, live with it for a little while, and then decide. We make snap judgments.
Right. You might even want a glass of water. You might want some crackers.
Or give it a little time. Wait an hour or two.
Walk away from it. Shake it out. You know.
Don't wait too long because it could start fermenting. So within a few minutes, it's probably good. An hour is fine.
If you intend on sharing this with somebody, if you have them come over, make a party of it, make an event, we're going to do a final tasting of this so we can tweak it to be just perfect for whatever.
You can even do this. Let's say you have it in the pitcher of awesomeness, by the way, which will hold like 5 bottles, right? And you have somebody in your house that likes things very dry. Okay, you bottle the first bottle totally dry. Mark that up.
Say their name.
Yeah,
this
put
is
their
their
name
bottle.
on it. And then the next one could be a little sweeter and so on and so forth. And you can have all 5 bottles and then you pasteurize the ones that need it, which would be everything but the one that's totally dry. And now you have 5 different versions of the exact same brew, all the same way.
Specifically designed to each person's personal
If you
palate.
had 5 different people in your house that needed 5 different things, in which case I am sorry. I would not want to cook for that household or make brews for that household. I am sorry. But it's true. I would not want to because everybody has their own taste. Everybody's different. No, thank you.
We're kind of experiencing that on a smaller level.
We have like two levels.
A and B.
Yeah. We have like 2 levels though.
It's all right.
Me and you and everybody else. That's all good.
All right. So we talked about ingredients, when to use fermentables, when to use non-fermentables. We've talked about that you can mix and match your sweeteners based on what you're looking for in your final product.
Well, not just that. The sweetener that you use actually determines if you have more work to do, too.
Oh, sure.
Because if you use a non-fermentable sweetener, you're done. You don't really have to do much else. So that could
as
weigh
long as your
into
brew was stable before you started.
Right. And that could weigh into your decision that I don't want to have to pasteurize or I don't want to have to add chemical stabilizers. Okay, I'm going to use non-fermentable sugars. Totally fine to do. If that's the way you want to go, I'm never going to judge somebody for that. But you are limiting your flavors a little bit by doing that because now you can't add more honey character. You can't add that molasses flavor. You can't add brown sugar. You can't add more fruit. Just so you're aware, as long as you're making that choice consciously, it's all good, as long as you know why.
You also have to understand what the non-fermentables are bringing to the table. So allulose is the closest in our...
Yeah, to real sugar. It's a naturally occurring sugar.
Right. It's less sweet.
It's not available in the UK, though.
Than sugar.
Or Europe, I think.
I thought erythritol was the one that was...
No, they banned that, too.
Oh, okay.
But allulose just hasn't been cleared yet.
Oh.
Erythritol was allowed, and now it's not.
Right. So
I think.
We don't particularly care for erythritol because...
Yeah, it's been linked to a couple of things that are a little
questiony, but it also has kind of like a minty menthol note that it adds to it that
erythritol does
I don't appreciate in a brew.
I gotta test monk fruit.
We have not tested pure monk fruit because
we have some
in our area. Most of the time, monk fruit is paired with erythritol, so that's why we've steered clear from it. But we finally found a pure monk fruit, and that still needs to be tested.
We've had it for like a year or more.
But we have a lot of stuff on our list.
Yeah, the list is never ending.
Never ending.
But as far as like the art of backsweetening, that's getting it to your taste level. The science of backsweetening would be like, okay, what are you really doing when you're backsweetening? Well, you're adding sweetness. It's actually a very simple thing, like the whole science of it. I'm sure some scientist out there is cringing or yelling at the screen.
Well, there's more to that than that. It's the fermentable sugar versus the non-fermentable sugar.
Sure.
It is, does this backsweetening bring just a sweetness note? Does it bring a more flavor
and how's it going to change over time?
And how is it going to change over time? Yes.
And then the guesswork. In all honesty, it's not guesswork if you do it our way. That's not guessing. No. Guessing is when you say, I'm going to add a half pound of this without knowing.
Right.
That's guesswork. And I don't agree with that. I don't think that's a great way to go. Now, if you have a known recipe that you know is add half pound, that's different.
Right.
I'm saying, I have no idea if I'm going to like this or not. Let's add a half pound of sugar. That's not really a good way to do things.
Right. And I keep referencing back to how we do it on our recipe videos, but if you are a listener and actually haven't watched any of our recipe videos, let me elaborate a little bit, shall I?
Yeah.
What we do is we, in small amounts, increasingly add to our pre-brewed fermentation, a sweetener of our choice, and taste it each time to see if it needs further adjustments. We have found that sometimes when we're back sweetening, we may enhance a note that needs to be balanced in a different fashion. So we might add an acidifier agent or a tannic agent or more fruit note or spice note or whatever is part of the mixture of whatever we're creating.
Yeah, because the balance is all about acids, tannins, and sweetness level. And if you can keep those in check, that's usually when things start to taste good.
And so when we are at the back sweetening stage of our recipes, we actually don't call it the back sweetening stage. We call it the adjustment stage.
Right, because it's not just back sweetening.
Because it's the full palette that needs to be explored to make sure that we're having a well-balanced final product.
I've noticed, though, the last year or so that we're not making as many tannin or acid adjustments because I think we're getting that fine-tuned in the fermentation process. So now we're just back sweetening to taste, which is kind of cool. I like that.
And
we have done it a couple times.
That is simply because of experience.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for
800 plus videos, you know?
A little while now. So we can predict where things are going to go. Sometimes we're wrong.
To a point.
But most of the times we're pretty much on the path that we think we're going to be on. So that helps. And if you're new to the homebrewing experience, don't worry. If you keep on going, this will come to you as well.
Yeah, if you're new to homebrewing, a lot of people seem to be afraid of backsweetening because then they have to pasteurize or something. Don't be afraid of it. We have many videos on pasteurizing, even on this channel and on the Beyond the Brews and on the main channel.
Yep.
We can link all those. Pasteurization is super simple and, if done correctly, very, very safe. It is all but, it's never 100%, all but a guarantee that you are not going to get a bottle bomb if you do it properly.
Yep.
Whereas I don't want to say too much about the chemical stabilizers. We never use them, but I know like in commercial brews, commercial meads and stuff, I can taste them. We can smell them right off the bat. We know it's there. So it's not something I prefer to use, but if that is the route you want to go, I'm not going to say, no, you should never do that. We don't do it. We've never done it. Therefore, when you ask questions about it, I can't help you. I literally know very little about it.
But one of the joys and perhaps also one of the complexities of homebrewing is there's so many different ways to come to the same conclusion.
Same,
but
similar.
Different.
Similar.
Yeah. Right.
To come to a similar end result.
Even pasteurization, there's multiple ways that you can pasteurize. We have found a way for us that is reliable and safe, and that's why it's our chosen method.
Yeah. But there's other methods that we have suggested that are safer, technically speaking, and just as reliable.
Sure.
So, yeah. It's all, here's the thing about homebrew. It all comes down to personal preference. What do you like? What do you enjoy? What makes you happy? What makes the product that you want? That's the way to go. If it's super complicated and over the top craziness, go for it if that makes you happy. If it's super, super simple, laid back, uses the least amount of gear, but at the end of the day, you go, I like this, then that's what you should do. We fall somewhere in the middle because there's times that we're a little bit more like up there, and there's other times that we're very laid back and simple about our processes. Yeah. I mean, we've been using the same 1-gallon fermenters for what, 15 years, 17 years?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the same fermenters. I don't see any reason to upgrade or change them. We still have the 1.5 gallons. Those are newer.
Sure.
But we have like the original Publix cider that came in a 1-gallon. We still have those, and we're still using them because they're still
Carlo Rossi's that you can't even get
we have
anymore.
the Carlo Rossi's. You can't even buy them anymore. We still have those. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, this was meant to be about backsweetening, but really it comes down to do what you like. I mean, if it makes you happy, it can't be that bad. Just like the song says. But make sure you're doing it safely. If you are backsweetening with a fermentable, you have to stop fermentation in some way, either by pasteurization or chemical stabilization. Putting it in the fridge is not enough.
Nope.
I know many people, and I've seen videos of fermentations that exploded in the fridge. Not a good situation to have. Now you have glass everywhere. Everything that was in your fridge is destroyed. Your refrigerator might be destroyed.
I don't know about you, but I couldn't afford a mistake like that.
Yeah, I don't want to have to afford a mistake like that. So that is probably the best advice that we can give. If you backsweeten with something fermentable, make sure you have some way of stopping it. Pasteurization via heat or chemical stabilizers. Either one of those, totally fine. Other than that, everything that we've said in here is completely opinion, completely biased. If you like this, do it this way. If you like this, do it this way. That's really all it comes down to.
So, backsweetening, is it art? Is it science? Is it guesswork?
Yes.
Absolutely.
All of them. And then some. There's probably other words that haven't even been invented yet to describe it. But as always, guys, thanks so much for listening and have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Today on the Fermenstation, let's talk about